And in the state of appreciation, you are looking for all that is good and great and beautiful. Truth is beauty. Beauty is truth. That's all there is to know on earth, and all you need to know, said John Keats. Well, gratitude is something that is an awareness of how fortunate I am. That virtually everything that shows up in my life has been a blessing. Virtually everything. All of the struggles, whether it's in, addictions, or whether it's in living in foster homes and being abandoned, whether it's my wife and I separating, and the pain of that, whatever it might be. A dear friend of mine was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She passed away a few years back, and she was the one who wrote so much about death and dying. She had a wonderful and important message for us. She said, if you shield the mountain from the windstorms, you'll never see the beauty of the carvings. And the beauty of the carvings comes from being able to be in a state of gratitude for the storms that show up in our life just as much as the things that we would like to have show up in our life.
You can stop feeling sorry for yourself. You can stop the self-pity because it's happening you've got to trust, you've got to surrender, you've got to know that what's coming your way has a purpose in it, has a lesson in it, that there's order in chaos. And underneath that chaos, you've got to look for that order and look for that blessing.
You have to start retraining your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, it responds to what it is that you suggest to it. But if I've programmed into my subconscious mind feelings of, poor me, I can't do anything about my life, other people are responsible for the reason why I can't get myself happy and healthy and so on. If I live with that kind of consciousness within you, you're going around feeling it all the time. Your feelings create the destiny that you want. If this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is absolutely inevitable. And what's the paramount feeling that you want to have? The feeling of love. Love is the feeling you must assume. And someone handed me something here the other day. It's called As the World Turns, and someone took it off of the computer. If you have food in the refrigerator, clothes on your back, a roof overhead, and a place to sleep, you're richer than 75% of the world. Just that. Doesn't that call for some gratitude? If you woke up this morning with more health than illness, you are more blessed than the million who will not survive this week because of illness. If you have money in your bank, any money in the bank, or even in your wallet, and spare change in a dish someplace in your life, you are among the top 8% of the world's wealthy. 92% of the people don't have that. If you can attend a church meeting without fear, that is, fear of arrest or torture or death, you are more blessed than 3 billion people in the world. And if you've never experienced the danger of battle or the loneliness of imprisonment or the agony of torture or the pangs of starvation, you're ahead of 500 million people in the world today. If your parents are still alive or still married, you are very rare, even in the United States. So, if you have the opportunity to think as you choose to think, to worship as you choose to worship, and you have a little bit of change in your pocket, and you've got your health, and you've got someone that cares about you, then you have an awful lot to be grateful for. And treasuring our divinity means being in a constant state of appreciation, looking for occasions to be joyful, to be happy, to be in a state of gratitude. Every time I find a penny or a nickel or a dime on the street, anytime, I bend over, I pick it up, and I say, thank you, God. as a reminder of the abundance that flows into my life when I'm just walking and breathing. Treasuring your divinity doesn't mean not having respect for God. It means respecting the God that is always with you.
There comes a quiet moment in every life, a soft inner ache, a gentle trembling in the heart where the soul whispers, "You were never meant to be a number. You were born to be a presence." We live in a world obsessed with measurement. How much you earn, how many followers you have, what title you hold, what you've accomplished by 30. Whether your waistline fits within the narrow confines of cultural praise, but none of these metrics know your soul. None of them touch the eternal. None of them measure peace or kindness or the divine breath you carry within you, the breath that was given freely before you even knew the word success. From the moment we open our eyes to this world, we're trained to calculate our worth. We're taught to compare, to strive, to accumulate, to improve, not out of joy, but out of a sense that we're not yet enough. The world doesn't say be, it says prove. And in that proving, we forget the sacred stillness from which we came. But I'm here to remind you of a truth older than the stars and closer than your breath. You are already worthy. You don't have to earn your place in the universe. You belong by virtue of your being. Not your doing, not your performing, not your producing. Your being, your mere miraculous being, is enough. There's no tree in the forest trying to be taller than the one next to it. No cloud hurrying across the sky to impress the wind. There's no flower blushing in shame for blooming late. And yet we, the most conscious expressions of life, forget to simply be what we are. We trade the vastness of our soul for the tight corset of identity. We strap on labels like badges, CEO, failure, mother, addict, survivor, millionaire, dropout. And we forget that before any of that, we were light, pure, untouched, infinite. And when we forget that truth, we suffer. Not because life is punishing us, but because we've wandered too far from what's real. We've bought into the illusion that our value is conditional, that love is earned, that rest is lazy, that joy must be deserved. But the soul doesn't deal in conditions. It doesn't wait for your resume. It doesn't ask for your credentials. The soul only asks, will you come home? Will you return to the quiet within you? Will you remember that peace isn't something you find, it's something you stop resisting? That freedom is not out there. It's in the release of everything that tells you you're not already free. You see, the great lie of the ego is this, that you are not yet complete and that the world holds the missing piece. So we chase, we race. We measure our lives in outcomes and accolades, in pounds lost and dollars gained, but no measurement ever touches fulfillment. It only feeds the hunger. And so I ask you, what if today you stopped chasing? What if you paused fully, deeply, and allowed yourself to just be, not as a tactic, not as a spiritual strategy, but as a holy return? Being is not the absence of ambition. It is the return to alignment. It is the end of striving for what you already are. It is the willingness to feel your own presence and say, this is enough. I am enough. This breath is holy. This moment is sacred. The world may not applaud that choice. It may even call it irresponsible, but your soul will rise in celebration. It will dance in the silence. It will recognize itself again, not in the mirror of the world, but in the mirror of God. And there, in that sacred recognition, suffering begins to dissolve. Because suffering lives in resistance, in the gap between what is and what we think should be. Suffering is the product of a mind that has forgotten its divine origin. It is the child of measurement, the offspring of comparison. But presence, true presence, is the antidote. When you are here, fully here, you can't suffer. You can feel pain, yes. You can feel sadness. But suffering requires a story, and presence dissolves the story. It brings you back to the now, where the soul lives, where grace is not a reward, but the air you breathe. So breathe, beloved soul. Not to reach somewhere, not to escape, but to return. Return to the truth that you are not a project to fix. You are a masterpiece to feel. You don't have to earn your peace. You only have to stop blocking it. You don't need more time. You need more presence. You don't need more approval. You need more truth. And your truth is this: you were never meant to be measured. You were meant to be experienced, felt, lived, loved. Let go of the performance. Let go of the applause. Let go of the silent scoreboard in your mind, ticking off wins and losses. You are not a contestant in the game of life. You are the awareness of life itself. And when you live from that awareness, a great peace arrives, a sacred clarity. You no longer try to prove your worth, you embody it. You no longer grasp for success, you magnetize it through alignment. You no longer chase love, you become it. You no longer strive for freedom, you realize you are always free. Let the world chase. Let it measure. Let it calculate. You be still. You be love. You be now. Because the only thing that truly transforms your life is not what you achieve, but how deeply you remember who you are. And you, dear soul, are a being of light. You are not your resume. You are not your mistakes. You are not your bank account. You are not your weight, your status, your accolades. You are not your history. You are presence. You are divine awareness expressing itself through human form. And you are free to stop measuring and start being right now. And so, in the space where you stop measuring, something miraculous happens. The noise quiets. The inner critic, that relentless architect of self-judgment, begins to lose its grip. Because it cannot survive in stillness. It feeds on striving, on judgment, on comparison, but it starves in presence. The moment you choose to simply be, it fades like a shadow under sunlight. You begin to hear something else. A subtler voice. A softer current running beneath the surface of your thoughts. It is not loud, it never was, but it has always been there waiting. This is the voice of your soul. The part of you that has never doubted your worth, never questioned your belonging, never once asked you to be more than you already are. This is the voice that says, you were born of stars, and stars do not audition to shine. You were born of light, and light never apologizes for its presence. You were born whole, not to become, but to remember. And as you begin to remember, you shed the layers that never truly belong to you. The need to compare, the compulsion to impress, the addiction to validation, they fall away. Like old garments you no longer need to wear. You start noticing the sacred in the ordinary, the way sunlight dances on a leaf, the sound of your own breath echoing eternity, the eyes of a stranger that reflect your own humanity back to you. These are not small things, they are everything. They are life as it was always meant to be lived, in presence, in awe, in deep intimacy with now. You no longer rush through moments to get somewhere else because you realize there is no there. There is only ever here. And in the here, everything you sought out there is already waiting. Peace is here. Love is here. God is here. And you, when you stop measuring, are finally here too. When you live in the now, the ego becomes quiet because the ego lives in time. It thrives in future and past, in what could have been and what might be. But the soul is timeless. It lives only in presence. It does not measure time. It feels eternity in a moment. And that is your invitation to trade time for presence, to trade striving for stillness, to trade your to-do list for your to-be list. Because in the end, no one remembers how efficient you were. They remember how present you were. They remember your presence the way you made them feel safe, seen, loved, and alive. That is the legacy of a being who has stopped measuring and started being. We are not here to climb ladders that lead nowhere. We are not here to chase carrots on sticks made of illusions. We are here to feel, to awaken, to remember, to love. And love, true love, does not measure. It does not say, I will love you when. It does not ask, what have you done to deserve me? Love simply is. It does not come from achievement. It does not bloom from performance. It arises when you strip away everything false and stand naked in your truth. To stop measuring is to return to love. To stop measuring is to let go of the scales that were never built to weigh what really matters. You cannot measure compassion. You cannot graph grace. You cannot chart the depth of a soul. These things defy metrics because they are infinite, and so are you. So take a breath. Right here, right now. No improvement necessary, no milestone required, no applause needed. Just be. Feel the divine pulse inside your chest. Feel the quiet miracle of being alive. Feel the unearned grace that holds you even when you fall. You are not your productivity. You are not your progress report. You are not a performance. You are a sacred being of light, here to embody truth. And the truth is this: you are already home. You always were. When you stop measuring, you return to your breath. And when you return to your breath, you return to life. Not the life dictated by schedules and goals and expectations, but the life that existed before language, the life that simply is. A tree does not keep track of its growth. A bird does not tally how many times it sings. The ocean does not measure its waves. It simply moves, it simply flows, it simply is. And so can you. The spiritual path is not about adding more. It is about subtracting all that is not you. The metrics, the labels, the masks, all of it can fall away. And underneath, what remains is not lacking, not unfinished, not unworthy, but whole. This wholeness cannot be earned. It cannot be achieved. It must be remembered. You were born with it. You are it. The tragedy is not that we forget who we are. The tragedy is that we spend so much of our lives trying to become what we never needed to be. And yet, even this forgetting is part of the sacred journey. The soul is not in a hurry. It is patient, like the stars, like the mountains, like eternity itself. It waits quietly, faithfully, until you are ready to return. And when you do, it welcomes you without judgment. Because your soul has never once measured your worth. It has only loved you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where your growth lives. And this moment, this breath is enough. Yes, the world will tempt you to keep measuring. It will hand you new yardsticks every day, more goals, more boxes to check, more comparisons to make. But each time you feel the urge to measure, pause, breathe, feel, and ask yourself, is this who I really am? Or is this who I've been taught to be? Because your being is not here to compete. It is here to radiate. It is here to live from the inside out. When you live from being, not from doing, everything becomes an act of presence. Washing a dish becomes meditation. Holding a hand becomes communion. Walking down the street becomes a miracle. And your life, simple, unmeasured, becomes a sanctuary. You will notice that joy begins to arise, not because you finally arrived somewhere, but because you finally stopped trying to arrive. You realize that the now is not a step on the path, it is the path. And the path is made of presence. And presence is the portal through which love, healing, and freedom enter. When you stop measuring, you allow yourself to feel again. Truly feel. Not analyze or fix or control, but feel. And feeling is sacred. Tears are sacred. Stillness is sacred. The soft ache in your chest that you've been trying to outrun for years, that too is sacred. It's not here to be solved, it's here to be held. And when you hold it with love, without trying to change it, you are being, you are healing, you are returning to the truth. The truth is, you were never meant to be someone else's idea of success. You were never meant to fit into a mold that has no room for your soul. You were never meant to look outward for permission to rest, to breathe, to feel worthy. Your worth is not on trial. It is not up for negotiation. It is not subject to the opinions of others. It is yours, innate, divine, eternal. You do not need to become more valuable. You need only to stop believing you are not already sacred. Let go of the checklist that says, when I get there, then I'll be enough. Let go of the scoreboard that keeps track of wins and losses in a game your soul never agreed to play. Let go of the measuring tape wrapped around your life like chains. Let it all fall. And in the silence that remains, listen. You'll hear the whisper, you were always enough. And this is not a concept, it is a vibration. It is a knowing that arises not from your mind, but from your being. It does not speak in loud declarations, it sings in stillness. It moves like warm light across your skin. It lives in your breath, in your body, in your eyes when they stop trying to impress and simply see. The deeper you enter this truth, the more you begin to notice what is no longer needed. Old thoughts, old beliefs, old identities. They begin to shed themselves like autumn leaves, not because you're fighting them, but because they no longer fit the energy of who you are becoming. And who you are becoming is not a better version of who you were. It is a freer, truer revelation of who you have always been. This is the paradox of the spiritual path. You do not become someone new. You unbecome everything that is not you. You are not here to chase enlightenment like a prize. You are here to remember it is already within you. And you will not remember through effort. You will remember through surrender, through softness, through trust. Trust that your being is enough. Trust that your presence is your power. Trust that you don't need to be extraordinary to be divine. You already are. You were created from the same source that made oceans, galaxies, laughter, and music. You were formed by the same love that spins the planets. That love lives in you. And it asks nothing of you except that you let go of anything that tells you otherwise. So take another breath. Let it fill you, not with pressure, but with peace. Let it remind you, you are not your output. You are not your timeline. You are not your follower count. You are not your past. You are presence. You are love. You are here. And here, in this unmeasured, undivided, unapologetic moment is where life truly begins. There is a deep freedom in no longer needing to keep score, no longer needing to prove, no longer needing to rise each day with the burden of not yet. It is the freedom to greet the morning without the story, to meet your own eyes in the mirror and see not a project to fix, but a soul to embrace. It is the end of the exhausting chase. And in that ending, life begins to feel like breath again, slow, sacred, effortless. You don't have to achieve peace. You only have to stop resisting it. You don't have to manufacture worthiness. You only have to stop burying it beneath layers of who you think you should be. Peace is not the reward for doing everything right. It's the natural state that returns when you stop trying to be someone else and you are enough. Not because of your titles, not because of your achievements, not because of your productivity, but because you are an emanation of life itself. Look around you, the stars, The rivers, the seasons, none of them strive to prove they belong. They simply are. And so are you. Worthy without earning, valuable without proof, beautiful without measurement. When you rest in being, a different kind of clarity arrives. Not the kind you think your way into the kind you feel. A knowing in your bones that says, I can let go now. I can breathe now. I can allow now. And the moment you allow yourself to be here fully, the whole world softens around you. The tension you carried in your shoulders dissolves. The story you were repeating in your mind goes quiet. The craving to be somewhere else fades because you are no longer divided against yourself. To be is to unify, to gather every part of you, the frightened parts, the joyful parts, the grieving parts, the grateful parts, and bring them into presence, into love, into now. And in that reunion, there is power. Not the power of dominance or control, but the power of presence. The power that cannot be taken, cannot be stolen, cannot be diminished, because it was never external to begin with. You stop chasing validation from others because your inner being no longer begs for permission to exist. You stop shrinking to fit spaces that were never built to hold your fullness. You stop editing your truth just to be accepted because you realize your truth is not up for negotiation. Your soul is not here for performance. It is here for embodiment. And embodiment means being fully present with what is. You start to notice that the love you were searching for in achievement has always lived in stillness. That the safety you sought in status has always been waiting in your own breath. That the belonging you craved in outer circles is already alive within your inner circle, the sacred place where your soul sits in silence and says, welcome home. This is not passivity. This is power. This is not resignation. This is realignment. You're not giving up on your dreams. You're letting go of the illusion that you need to measure yourself against them to be enough. You're no longer climbing a ladder to reach your own worth. You're standing on sacred ground and realizing you were already whole. And as this truth roots itself in you, the fear begins to dissolve. Fear is born from separation, the belief that who you are is not enough for what life demands. But when you remember your essence, fear has no ground to stand on. It may visit, but it no longer owns you because you are rooted in being, not in outcome, not in perception, but in the eternal now. This now, this breath, is not a step to somewhere else. It is the destination. And in this destination, nothing is missing. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are simply arriving into the deeper truth that nothing needs to be added to what is already sacred. And in this sacredness, you begin to feel gratitude, not the performative kind, but the embodied kind. The kind that bubbles up when you look at your hands and remember how much they've carried. The kind that rises when you watch the wind move through the trees and realize it's moving through you too. The kind that humbles you to tears when you remember this life is a gift, not a test. A classroom, not a courtroom. A miracle, not a measurement. And so you bow, not in defeat, but in reverence. You bow to the soul within you. You bow to the moments that broke you open. You bow to the pain that taught you to feel. You bow to the silence that brought you home. You bow to the path that led you back to now. Being is the art of bowing inward, of surrendering not as a loss, but as a sacred return. And when you surrender the measurement, the comparisons, the timelines, the scorecards, you make space for what's real. You make space for joy, for grace, for truth. And truth will never demand you to be anything other than what you already are. The world will still spin, people will still chase, noise will still rise around you like a storm of urgency, but you will be anchored because you no longer live by the rhythm of performance. You live by the rhythm of presence, and that rhythm is slow, sacred, timeless. You walk differently when you're no longer rushing to prove. You breathe differently when you're no longer trying to convince. You love differently when you stop asking for permission to be whole. Everything shifts when you stop measuring and start being. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to defend it. You just live it quietly, authentically, unapologetically. And from that stillness, real transformation is born. Not the kind that makes headlines, the kind that makes peace, the kind that frees you from the invisible chains of comparison, the kind that awakens a soft smile in your heart because you finally remember you are not missing anything, you were never broken, you were only buried under expectations that were never yours. You can release them now. You can forgive the part of you that tried to earn love. You can forgive the part of you that thought it had to be perfect to be safe. You can forgive the part of you that measured worth by productivity, by applause, by progress. None of those parts were wrong. They were just trying to survive in a world that taught them they weren't enough. But now you know better. And because you know better, you can love deeper. And because you love deeper, you live freer. The path of being is not without pain, but it is without resistance. And without resistance, pain becomes something else. It becomes teacher. It becomes sculptor. It becomes the sacred invitation to drop deeper into the now, into yourself, into truth. And the truth is not complicated. It is not wrapped in formulas or hidden behind achievements. It is simple, like all great things. It sounds like this. You are loved. You are whole. You are here. And here is enough. Here is the temple. Here is the miracle. You may have spent years believing you had to earn what was already yours, that you had to climb to be seen, that you had to hustle to be worthy. But let me remind you again, you were seen the moment you were born. You were worthy the moment you breathed. You belonged before you even spoke your name. All the chasing, all the striving, all the measuring, it brought you to the edge of yourself. And now you get to leap, not into more striving, but into surrender. Not into improvement, but into acceptance. Not into performance, but into peace. You were not born to be consumed by judgment. You were born to reflect light, to embody truth, to walk this earth as love made visible. So stop counting, stop comparing, stop justifying your being with what you produce. You are not a brand. You are not a business card. You are not a label. You are life itself. And life, real life, cannot be measured. It is felt, it is lived, it is breathed. When you finally stop measuring, you rediscover wonder. You walk outside and realize that the sky does not ask for your resume. The sunrise doesn't care if you met your goals. The trees aren't waiting for you to be perfect. They celebrate your being. Because all of nature understands what we so often forget, that your presence is enough, that your soul is worthy just by existing. So today, I invite you to start again, not by doing more, but by doing less. By slowing down, by breathing deeper, by listening inward, by walking gently through your life with your heart wide open. Not as someone trying to win at life, but as someone finally willing to live. And to live is to be raw, to be honest, to be seen without needing to impress, to be kind to yourself even when you fall short, to be awake to the miracle of the mundane, to be love, not as a performance, but as a posture, to be truth, not as a philosophy, but as your natural state. And when you are being, truly being, you are free. Free from the race, free from the metrics, free from the cage of not enough. This is not the end of your journey, it is the beginning of your return. And you return not to an ideal, not to a goal, but to yourself. The self that doesn't need fixing, the self that isn't waiting to arrive. The self that has been patiently whispering all along, you are already it, so be still. Be soft. Be aware. Be alive. And remember, you don't need to measure the moment. You just need to be in it. You don't need to measure your worth. You just need to feel it. You don't need to measure the progress. You just need to trust the process. Because life, true, rich, unfiltered life begins the moment you stop measuring and start being. The present momentous, very momentous, the only true reality we possess. It is the only place where life truly exists, where the pulse of your soul beats, where your thoughts meet the wisdom of your heart. But how often do we neglect this moment? How often do we chase after the shadows of the past or the promises of a future that has not yet arrived, only to find ourselves feeling lost in the spaces between time? The present moment, however, is not just a fleeting instant. It is your superpower. It is the portal through which all transformation flows. Take a moment right now and just breathe. Let the air fill your lungs and recognize that this breath, this exact breath, is a gift. It has no past, no future. It simply is. The world is calling you to embrace it without hesitation, without fear, to awaken to the truth that everything you need to thrive is right here in this moment. You are not the past. You are not the mistakes, the regrets, the wounds that have shaped you. You are not the labels that others have placed upon you, nor the judgments you have carried in your mind. You are not the voice that repeats old stories of who you were and what you have done wrong. You are not the sum of yesterday's actions. You are more than that. You are a divine expression, a spark of the infinite, unfolding and becoming with every passing second. Your soul knows this. Even if your mind has forgotten, your soul is not bound by time. It is timeless. It exists beyond the confines of the past and the future. It moves with the eternal flow of the present, where there is no separation, no fragmentation, only unity. This moment is where your soul finds its deepest connection to all that is. The present moment is the only place where true power resides. We spend so much of our lives looking to the past, replaying the scenes in our minds as if we could change the course of what has already been. We live in the illusion that by holding on to our history, we can somehow protect ourselves from repeating old patterns. But the truth is that the more we cling to the past, the more we allow it to control us. Every thought you have about who you once were, about what you should have done differently, is like a chain that binds you to a reality that no longer exists. And then there is the future. Oh, how we dream about the future. We imagine it will bring us the happiness, the success, the peace we seek. We place our hope in things yet to come, believing that one day, if we work hard enough, if we achieve enough, we will finally arrive at the place where we will feel fulfilled. But here's the truth. The future never arrives. When it does, it is always the present. The future, just like the past, is an illusion. It is a story that we create in our minds, a projection of what we want or fear, but it is never truly real. The only thing that is real, the only thing that ever will, is the present moment. The present is the place where your life unfolds, where you make the choice to step into your power or to remain bound by the illusion of time. It is in the present that you can heal. It is in the present that you can release what no longer serves you. It is in the present that you can transform your thoughts, your energy, and your reality. Why then do we avoid it? Why do we distract ourselves, numb ourselves, running away from the beauty and the challenge of this moment? The answer lies in our fear. We fear facing ourselves. We fear the unknown that exists in the depths of the now. But this fear is a veil-thin, transparent curtain that, once lifted, reveals the truth. The present moment is a sanctuary. It is where you find your peace, your joy, your clarity. It is where you align with the very essence of who you are. You are a divine being. You are a spark of the universe. You have the power to create, to manifest, to heal. But all of this potential can only be unlocked when you come into full alignment with the present moment. The power you seek is not somewhere in the future. It is right here, right now. You see, when you let go of the past, you stop dragging around the weight of what has been. When you stop projecting your hopes and fears onto the future, you cease to live in a constant state of yearning. And in that sacred space where you let go of both past and future, you discover something profound: freedom. Freedom from the shackles of time. Freedom from the limiting beliefs you once held about yourself. Freedom to be fully present with the gift of life. The present moment is a blank canvas, awaiting the brushstrokes of your consciousness. What you choose to create in this moment will shape your experience, your relationships, your destiny. But in order to create, you must first let go of the attachment to how things should be and surrender to how they are. This is not resignation, but a recognition that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has brought you to this place for a reason. You are here for a purpose. In this moment, you are whole. You are complete. You are enough. You do not need to be anything more or less than you already are. The ego will try to tell you otherwise. It will tell you that you must be better, do more, achieve more to prove your worth. But this is the illusion of the ego. It thrives on the belief that you are separate from others, separate from your source. It whispers that you must earn love, that you must work hard to be worthy. But the truth is this: you are already worthy. You are already loved. You are already enough. When you live in the now, you transcend the ego's constant demands for validation. You cease to define yourself by what you do or don't do, by how much you have or haven't achieved. You recognize that you are not your thoughts, your accomplishments, or your failures. You are the awareness behind them. You are the observer, the witness, the consciousness that is experiencing life in all its forms. And as you embrace this, as you release the need to be anything other than who you are in this moment, something extraordinary happens. Healing begins. Healing from the wounds of the past. Healing from the lies that you are not enough. Healing from the belief that you are separate from your divine source. All of these illusions dissolve in the presence of truth, and in the presence of the present moment, your soul begins to remember who it truly is. The present moment is your superpower. It is where miracles happen, where shifts occur, where new realities are created, but you must be willing to step into it. You must be willing to be fully present with yourself, with your life, with the world around you. In this space, you will find clarity, peace, and purpose. You will find the strength to forgive yourself and others. You will find the courage to release the burdens that have held you back. You will find the wisdom to make choices that align with your highest good. As you open your heart to the present moment, you align with the flow of the universe. You stop fighting against the current of life and instead begin to flow with it. You become like the river, effortless, peaceful, powerful. You trust that the universe has a plan for you, that everything is unfolding perfectly, and that you are exactly where you need to be. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your reality. And you can only step into this creative power when you are fully present with yourself, with your life, with your soul. The present moment is not a passive experience, it is an active choice. It is the decision to live consciously, to live with intention, to live with love. So, I invite you right now to step into this moment with me. Let go of the past, release the future, and fully embrace the gift of the now. Feel the energy within you. Feel the pulse of the universe vibrating through your being. You are a part of something much greater than yourself, and the present moment is your invitation to remember that truth. The present moment is your superpower. Embrace it, use it, live it, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes. In the vast expanse of existence, there is a silent truth that echoes through the chambers of our being. The present moment is where all creation begins. It is the canvas upon which your life is painted, each stroke infused with the colors of your choices, your thoughts, your energy. And yet, so many of us live as if we are trapped in a past that no longer serves us, or racing toward a future that we fear we will never reach. In doing so, we miss the masterpiece unfolding before us in this very instant. Every breath you take, every thought you think, every feeling you experience is an opportunity to create something new. The present moment offers you an infinite number of possibilities, each one, leading you closer to the truest expression of who you are. But you must be willing to see it. You must be willing to release the need to control, to overthink, to second guess. You must be willing to let go of the noise in your mind and listen to the quiet wisdom of your soul. It is in this surrender that true freedom is found. The freedom to be yourself without the weight of expectations or the pressure of perfection. The freedom to let go of the need to fix everything, to make everything right. The truth is, life is not about fixing, it is about being. It is about aligning with the flow of the universe, surrendering to the rhythm of existence, and trusting that all is unfolding as it should. In the stillness of the present moment, you are reminded that you are not separate from the divine. You are an expression of the infinite, a reflection of the cosmos itself. Every star in the sky, every blade of grass beneath your feet, every breath in your lungs is part of the same grand tapestry. You are not an isolated individual struggling against the world. You are an integral part of the whole, connected to everything, everywhere, in every moment. The present moment is where you reconnect with this truth, where you awaken to the fact that you are, in essence, one with all of creation. This awareness, this awakening, is not something that requires you to go out and search for it. It is already within you. It is the essence of your being, the core of who you are, waiting patiently to be remembered. All the distractions, the fears, the doubts, the insecurities, they are just temporary clouds passing through the sky of your consciousness. They are not who you are. You are the sky itself, vast, infinite, and untouched by the storm. When you let go of the need to control, to cling to the past, or to worry about the future, you step into your true power. You become like the river that flows effortlessly, following the path of least resistance. You become like the tree whose roots run deep into the earth, whose branches stretch toward the sky, secure in its place in the world. The present moment is your foundation, your anchor, your place of peace. And when you stand in this moment, grounded in your truth, nothing can shake you. Nothing can move you off course. You are aligned with the flow of life, and the current will carry you exactly where you need to go. But in order to experience this freedom, you must first release your attachment to the past. It is in holding on to the past that we bind ourselves to old stories, old wounds, and old ways of thinking. We tell ourselves that we are defined by what has happened, by the mistakes we have made, by the pain we have endured. But this is not the truth. The truth is that you are not your past. You are not the sum of your experiences. You are the consciousness that is aware of them. You are the awareness behind the thoughts, the observer of the story. And as the observer, you have the power to rewrite that story. You have the power to choose a new narrative, one that is grounded in the truth of who you are in this moment. The past no longer has a hold on you unless you continue to give it power. And when you release it, when you forgive yourself and others, when you make peace with what has been, you free yourself to live fully in the present. It is only then that you can begin to heal. Healing is not about fixing what has been broken. Healing is about remembering who you truly are, whole, complete, and divine. Healing is about coming back to yourself, coming back to the present moment where everything is already perfect as it is. This is not to say that life is without challenges. The present moment does not promise a life free of pain or hardship, but it does promise peace. It promises freedom from the mental chatter, the emotional turmoil, the endless cycle of trying to control everything around you. It promises that no matter what happens, you can find your center, your calm, your peace. The present moment is your anchor in a world that is constantly shifting, your rock in the midst of the storm. When you are truly present, you are no longer reacting to life, you are creating it. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a conscious creator, shaping your reality with each thought, each choice, each breath. You are the artist of your own life, painting your masterpiece one brushstroke at a time. And the beauty of this is that you have the power to change the painting at any moment. You can choose to step into a new story, a new chapter, a new way of being. The present moment is your canvas, and you hold the brush. In this moment, you are free to let go of the past. You are free to release the burden of guilt, shame, and regret. You are free to stop blaming yourself or others for what has happened. You are free to forgive, to heal, and to move forward with love in your heart. You are free to create a new reality, one that aligns with your highest self, one that reflects the love, peace, and joy that reside within you. And in doing so, you become a beacon of light in the world. As you step into your power, you empower others to do the same. When you live in the present moment, you show others the way. You become an example of what is possible when you let go of the past, release the ego, and embrace the truth of who you are. You become a living, breathing testament to the power of the present moment. So, take a deep breath and feel the energy of this moment coursing through you. Feel the love, the peace, the infinite possibility that resides in this now. Know that everything you need is already here. You are already enough. You are already whole. You are already powerful. You are already divine. All that you seek is within you, waiting to be awakened in this very moment. And as you awaken, as you step fully into the present moment, you will begin to see the world with new eyes. You will see the beauty in the simplest things. You will feel the peace in the stillness of your own soul. You will experience the joy that comes from being fully alive, fully present, fully you. The present moment is your superpower. It is where your true power lies. It is where your life begins. And it is where you will find everything you need to live a life of love, peace, and purpose. Embrace it, live it, and let it transform you. As you stand in the present moment, you are no longer bound by the constraints of time. You are free from the prison of the past and the illusions of the future. You are in the only place that truly exists, the only place where life happens, where the magic of existence unfolds. You are free to choose, to create, to be. The power is in your hands, and it is not hidden or distant. It is right here, right now, waiting for you to claim it. But so often we forget. We become so caught up in the noise of the world, the demands of life, the expectations of others. We let the distractions of our minds pull us away from the sacredness of this moment. We become lost in the chaos, thinking that we need to do more, be more, have more to find fulfillment. But in doing so, we miss the truth. Fulfillment is not found in external achievements or possessions. It is found in the quiet peace of the present moment, in the awareness of the beauty that already surrounds us. The truth is, you already have everything you need. You have all the love, all the wisdom, all the strength within you to create the life you desire. But you must first stop searching outside of yourself for what can only be found within. The present moment is where your inner power resides. It is the place where your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions align with the highest version of yourself. It is where you connect with the divine essence that flows through you and all living things. When you let go of the need to control, to plan every detail, to force outcomes, you open yourself to the flow of life. You stop fighting against the current and begin to float with it. You surrender to the wisdom of the moment, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. And in this surrender, you find the peace and clarity you've been seeking all along. The ego, with all its demands and distractions, wants to keep you trapped in the past or anxious about the future. It wants you to believe that you are incomplete, that you need to do more, achieve more, be more. But this is the lie of the ego. The truth is that you are already whole. You are already perfect, just as you are in this very moment. The present moment is where you realize this truth. It is where you remember that you are a divine being, a reflection of the infinite, and that you have the power to create the life you desire. To live in the present moment is to live in a state of constant creation. Every thought you think, every choice you make is an act of creation. You are not a passive observer of your life, you are the creator of it. And when you step into the present moment with intention, with awareness, with love, you begin to create a reality that aligns with your deepest desires. You begin to live the life you were always meant to live. But to do so, you must release the hold the past has on you. You must forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, the choices you regret, the pain you've carried. You must let go of the stories you've told yourself about who you are, who you were, and who you think you should be. The past is over. It no longer has any power over you unless you allow it to. When you release the past, you free yourself to live fully in the present where all possibilities exist. The future is not something to fear either. So many of us live with the weight of what might happen, of what could go wrong, of the uncertainties that lie ahead. But the future is not something to fear. It is simply another moment waiting to unfold. And the best way to prepare for the future is to live fully in the present. When you give your full attention to this moment, when you align yourself with the energy of now, you open yourself to the highest possibilities for tomorrow. The future is created by what you do in the present. And so you stand at the crossroads of time, not looking back, not looking ahead, but standing in the now where all power lies. This is where you make your choices. This is where you decide who you want to be, what you want to create, how you want to live. The past has no hold on you, and the future is a field of infinite potential. The only thing that matters is the choice you make right now in this moment. And in this moment, you choose to be free. You choose to release the chains of the past, to let go of the fears of the future, and to embrace the power of the present. You choose to live fully in the now, to experience the joy and peace that come from being fully present with yourself and with life. You choose to embrace the truth that you are already enough, already whole, already perfect, just as you are. This is your superpower, the ability to be fully present with yourself, with the world around you, with the divine energy that flows through all things. This is where your true power lies. This is where transformation begins. When you step into the present moment with intention, with awareness, with love, you step into your power as the creator of your own reality. So let go of the past. Release the future and step fully into the power of now. In this moment, you are free. In this moment, you are whole. In this moment, you are everything you need to be. And in this moment, you have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. This is the gift of the present moment. This is your superpower. Embrace it and let it transform you. Let it carry you to new heights of peace, joy, and fulfillment. Let it guide you to the highest version of yourself. And know that in every moment you are exactly where you are meant to be. As you stand in the vastness of the present moment, you come to realize that this space, this no, was not merely a fleeting point in time. It is the eternal foundation of your existence. It is the point of intersection where all paths meet, where past and future are mere whispers, and where the power of your soul is undisturbed. The present moment is the birthplace of all possibilities, the sacred ground upon which your life is created. And in this moment, you are free to choose again. The past has already been written. It cannot be undone, nor can it be relived. It is a collection of memories, each one holding a lesson, but none of them capable of defining you. The pain of the past no longer has power over you unless you continue to carry it. When you release it, you free yourself to step fully into the light of the present, where only love, peace, and possibility dwell. The weight of yesterday falls away, leaving you light, unburdened, ready to embrace the truth that you are enough, just as you are in this moment. The future filled with its uncertainties, its hopes, its imagined fierceness, a place that is yet to be created. It is a canvas still waiting for the brushstrokes of your thoughts, your intentions, and your actions. The future is nothing more than a reflection of how you choose to live today. And when you live fully in the now, you align yourself with the highest potential of tomorrow. The future is not something to be feared, but something to be created, moment by moment, thought by thought, choice by choice, and you are the creator. So, what is left? What is the key that unlocks the doorway to all that you seek? It is simple, yet profound. It is the present moment. The present moment is where your power lies. It is where your deepest wisdom speaks. It is where your soul aligns with the divine flow of life, where you are reminded that you are one with the universe, that you are not separate from the love and abundance that surround you. In this moment, you are connected to everything, to all that is, to all that was, and to all that will be. When you choose to live in the now, you choose to align with the infinite. You choose to let go of the limitations imposed by the mind, by society, by old beliefs, and by the ego. You choose to live from a place of truth, from a place of authenticity, from a place of power. You are no longer bound by the past, no longer enslaved by the future. You are free. Free to be, free to create, free to experience life as it is meant to be, experience whole, abundant, and full of grace. In this space, the possibilities are endless. When you are present, you step into a flow of creation that is effortless, that is guided by the wisdom of your heart and the intuition of your soul. You no longer need to struggle or force. You simply align with the natural rhythm of life, and everything you desire comes to you effortlessly in divine timing. You are not the doer. You are the observer, the creator, the conscious participant in the dance of life. This moment is where healing begins. It is in the now that you find the peace that eludes you in the chaos of your thoughts. It is in the now that you find the clarity that has been clouded by doubt. It is in the now that you return to your true self, the self that is whole, the self that is free, the self that is divine. And as you heal within, you heal the world around you. Your presence becomes a healing force, radiating love and light, touching everyone and everything you encounter. You may wonder, what is the secret to staying present in a world that is constantly pulling you in every direction? The secret is simple: awareness. When you are aware of the power of the now, when you recognize that this moment is the only place where life truly exists, you begin to shift your attention away from the distractions of the mind and the pressures of the world. You begin to see the beauty in the small things, the sound of a bird singing, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the love in another's eyes. You begin to see the divine in every moment, in every person, in every experience. The world becomes a reflection of your own inner peace, and you become a reflection of the divine. And when you embrace the present moment, you allow yourself to flow with life. You no longer resist the natural course of things. You trust that everything is unfolding as it should, even if you cannot always see the bigger picture. Life becomes an adventure, a journey of discovery, of growth, of transformation. You become a conscious creator, aware of your power and your ability to shape your reality with every thought, every feeling, every action. The present moment is your superpower, and you are the key to unlocking it. When you fully embrace the now, you step into the highest version of yourself. You become the person you were always meant to be, the person who is whole, who is free, who is divine, the person who lives with purpose, with intention, with love. So, take a deep breath and feel the presence of the now surrounding you. Feel the love, the peace, the infinite potential that exists in this very moment. Know that you are already enough. You are already whole. You are already perfect, just as you are. And in this moment, you have everything you need to create the life you desire. The present moment is where your power lies. It is where your life begins. It is where you will find everything you seek: love, peace, joy, fulfillment, purpose. It is all here now. Embrace it, live it, and watch as your life transforms before your eyes.